Lucy here is taking a little bit of a siesta. It's been a long day for her. She had a marrow bone, a couple bully sticks, and she's about pooped out. This is the end of our session. This is the roadmap to success. So let me see. Let's talk a little bit about potty training first. Remember, when the dog is going outside, we don't want to take the dog outside for a super long period of time and think that the length of time is going to impact them going. For a puppy, they're very easily distracted. So if you take them out and they don't go within 5 minutes, it's not urgent enough. Take her out. If she doesn't go within 5 minutes, bring her back inside. Either carry her, put her on a leash that's tied to your belt, or put her in a kennel where she can't have an accident. It only takes a second, especially for a little dog this small. And then wait 15 minutes, take her back outside, give her another 5 minutes, keep repeating that process until she goes. Now, the times that puppies are apt to go is 5 minutes, or right after waking up, about 5 minutes after eating, and about 10 minutes after heavy play starts. Now, if they're all of a sudden they're just laying here and all of a sudden get up and just race across the room and not do laps, but just get up and move away real quick, a lot of times that means they need to poop. Now, when they're going to need to potty, sometimes they go back and forth over the same area and they're sniffing it a lot. Also, they're going to do the classical crouching position she just did it a minute ago. I find that if you take the dog out once an hour, it increases your odds that she's going to go out when she's outside. For dogs, you have to remember, it's not natural for them to hold it. They need to go, they just stop and go. And so if you can take your dog out once an hour, it increases the odds. Make sure you have a treat with you. So what I do is I take the dog out to the area of the yard I want them to pee in first for 1 week on a leash. Once I get to that area, I stop in the middle of it and I act like I'm a steak. I'm going to give the dog like 4 feet of leash and they can go around. And then every time, as soon as they start to pee or poop, same word for both, I say the word business or whatever the word is that you want to use. And just say it in a normal tone of voice. Don't say it too loud or too excited because that will stop them and then you'll have them have an accident when they go back inside. So say business once. As soon as they get done, crouch down like a softball catcher into a crouched position. And then I have a treat, and she's going to be on a leash anyway. So bring her over, give her the treat, and say the word business the same second the treat touches her lips or slightly after, not before. Do that for about a week and take her to the same place. So what you're teaching her is this is the area I want you to eliminate it. After the first week, I take her out there, maybe on a leash, but she's dragging it or off a leash. Walk to that area yourself. And then as soon as you get there, just wait. If she goes within the 5-foot radius, then I'm going to say the word business when she starts. And as soon as she gets done, I'm going to crouch down in a softball position, catcher position, and then I'm going to give her 5 or 6 treats in a row. Now, since she's a little dog, I would suggest tearing the treats in half. And each time the treat touches her lips, we say the word business. We want her to say, holy cow, what did I just do? Because I just got a jackpot of treats. Now, actually, it's what we call a jackpot. We give a whole bunch of treats. So if she goes outside of that 5-foot area, but anywhere in the yard, maybe if she's right near the area, but a couple feet away, she gets 4 treats. And then if she goes anywhere in the yard, she gets 1 treat. So that way we're giving her an incentive to go to the right place. Make sure that we do not scold her or yell at her in an angry fashion if she has an accident in the house. That's your fault because you didn't take her out quick enough. She's a puppy. She doesn't know any better. The dogs cannot have control of their bladder till they're at least 4 months old. So when we take her outside, we were going to reward her and give her that positive association. Now, some people will see the dog having an accident in the house and they're like, oh, no, bad dog, bad dog, bad dog. Dog's like, well, humans don't like me pottying. They don't interpret I'm saying don't potty in the house. They just think we're saying don't potty. So dogs with this perception won't tell you when they have to potty, and they'll go hide somewhere, and you'll find accidents years later. So don't make a big deal. If your dog starts to have an accident, clap, stomp your foot, drop a book, something to startle the dog out of doing it, and then immediately take them outside and then reward them richly when they do it. Now, punishing your dog, it's just for potty training, it's going to backfire. So don't ever do it. Now, if in this case we want the dog to indicate that it needs to go outside, we're going to use a bell to do this. To do the bell, what we do is we take the bell outside with us for the first week. And as soon as the dog starts to pee or poop, we gently ring the bell. Try to mimic the sound that it will make when the dog hits it inside to say, I want to go outside. Don't ring it too hard, essentially. So ring it while they're peeing or pooping in a gentle fashion. As soon as they get done, clamp it. And when you walk from the exterior of the house or from the door to where they're going to go potty, have it clamped as well so they're not hearing it. The only time the dog hears it is when I'm peeing or pooping. Then as soon as they get done, I crouch down, pop the treat in their mouth or 6 treats in their mouth. And each time it goes in their mouth, I start ringing the bell, and I ring it as long as they're chewing. So this way that we create a positive association with the ringing of the bell with the action, or tied to the action, tied to the reward. And now once we've done that for about a week or 2 weeks, then what I do is I don't hang the bell from the door. That's a cardinal mistake most people make, and that just tells the dog, I want to go outside, not potty. So hang it next to the door or on the adjoining doorknob so it doesn't open or make a sound when you open the door. Then what I do is I make sure it's low enough for the every time I take the dog outside, I either take the paw and hit the bell, or it's what my sister Tara did, which it's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Tara. Or I take a toothpick, and what I do is put gob of peanut butter on one end, about the size of a pea, and then a tiny little bit on the end, just tiny little bit. What I do is I let the dog lick a little bit on the pea side, and then lead the dog over to where it is. Let him get all of that off the toothpick, then show him the other side, let him just sniff it, and then tap it onto the bell. Make sure the bell's low enough so it's nose level for the dog. And then let her see that it's there. If you put too much, she'll just sit there licking the bell. She won't want to go outside. Just a tab, just so she gets a little taste. As soon as she nudges or licks it, and the door, as soon as it makes any sound, you open that door immediately like there's remote control in it. And then we take her outside and we repeat the process as I described earlier. When we're doing this, this is a very little dog and we have a big house. And we have puppy playpens, as you can see behind me. So we would want to put a bell in the puppy playpen in a low, easy to access area. And in every other room the dog is in, so the dog has the ability to let us know, I have to urinate or defecate. Now, for now, we're going to use the puppy playpens, and there are probably times that she's going to go at accident in the puppy playpen. So if the dog's going to a regular area in the puppy playpen, that's where I'd put the puppy pad, and don't move the puppy pad down. She goes into a whole bunch of different areas, and you really want to train your dog to use a puppy playpen, I would suggest you get the bathroom, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a kennel that has a partition with a hole in it. Now the idea for that is if this is the kennel, we'll do it facing you, so this is basically the long side of the kennel, the brace or the barricade you can move wherever you want. So I'd put it on this side so the dog just has just enough room to lay down and no extra room. Then there's the barricade with the hole in it, and on this side is a big puppy pad. Now if your dog tears up or rips up the puppy pads, you might get a piece of wood, not wood, probably metal would be better, and put it on the edges so that she can't move it around. So basically, when the dog goes in here, they potty, they don't want to soil their bed. So they'll get up and potty there. It's best if you watch this, so when they do it, you can ring the bell or make the potty, say the potty word to create an association. And I would give it a different command word for the puppy pad. This way, if we're flying with our dog and we want them to potty on the puppy pad, we lay it down and we could tell them, porta potty is what I suggested, but I wouldn't even use something that has the same name. I would say something completely different. And then after they do that enough, then they start to identify that soft surface is something I should potty or pee or poop on. Those are really helpful because it doesn't give the dog the option. Now, she's a little dog, so if she could sleep on this side and this room is empty, she might go there. If she does that, a lot of times I'll put a brick or something there to prevent the dog. Sorry, you got to stay on my lap just for another minute. So that way it'll prevent the dog from being able to pee on the puppy, on the bedding. Let me see. We already are using passive training, so that's just petting the dog whenever she sits and saying the word sit and not good sit. She's not good at laying down, so I would really put an emphasis on that. One of the things that one of the guardians suggested, which I would agree with, is to create a list of the command words, so we're all using the same ones. On average, the average human, careful your finger doesn't get in the viewfinder, the average human says about 500 to 10,000 words a day. Dogs don't verbally communicate, so they have to suddenly pick out that word. If the more words that we make them listen for, the harder it is for them to pick those things out. So how about we give you a little positive reinforcer. So consolidating your words and always saying come or here or whatever the word is makes it easy. Now, one of the little tricks I did is I took the Tricky Trainer chicken liver treats that I use, which have a very strong aroma, and I basically, these are hard. So I blow across it when the dog's a couple feet away. This helps the dog smell the aroma. Make sure they're fresh. These have been in my pocket as well, so they're a little hard on the edge. But when the dog comes to you, give it the treat and say the word come or here. And we want to do it in different parts of the house, and it just creates more of an association. The dog wants to come because it's going to anticipate getting that treat or that reward. Let me see. What else do we want to work on? Petting with a purpose. She likes to come and jump up on the couch when she wants to come up. If we pick her up when she does that, we're teaching her that's the way to ask, and she's going to do that for the rest of her life. You're going to take the plastic? That's probably not good for you. Let me take that away. So what I would do instead is when she jumps up, tell her to sit. As soon as she sits, pick her up, but only ask her one time, or better yet, tell her. And if she doesn't sit, then just lean back and go back to watching TV. And if she makes a fuss, ignore her. Otherwise, you're just training her that the best way to get my attention is to throw a temper tantrum. And then, believe me, that's a problem you don't want to have. Let's see. I would like the guardians to set up another puppy playpen. Having it here is great, but as we saw in the other videos we talked about, she doesn't like going in here because she'd rather be out playing, and she wants to be with us, and this is a little bit segregated. What I would suggest the guardians do is go to doggoneproblems.com, go to the Quest Ed section, and look for the section where it talks about feeding your dog out of toys. I think it says something can increase the intelligence. There's a picture of my dog, and he's eating, he's a Dalmatian puppy, and he's eating out, there is a yellow and teal star that he's eating out of. Feeding your dog out of interactive toys makes them more interested in playing with toys, which is really beneficial so they don't chew the wrong thing. Since we're going to set up a puppy playpen in another room that's off that we can close the door. I like doing that for a couple reasons. Number one, it helps the dog avoid developing separation anxiety because it practices being alone. We can put the kennel in there attached to the puppy playpen, and the only soft place in there is inside the kennel with the door always wired open. So the dog will just start sleeping in there on its own and they get used to it. To get the dog used to going in this other one, what I would do is have the guardian feed out of these interactive toys. I have again, a post on Quest Ed specific for this, but I use 3 or 4 toys, split the food up between all of them, and then put them in there. Sometimes you have to show the dog how to do it, but after a while the dog's nudging it around like a soccer player, and little pieces of kibble fall out and they're eating it. Well, the first 1 or 2 times you do that, make sure you're in there while the dog's doing it. Second time or third time that you do it, once the dog really gets into it and is understanding how to do it, so it might take a couple times. Wait until the dog understands how to get it. Once it's done a couple times, then give it a minute or 2 to kind of get some treats and get into the rhythm of it. Then very quietly, subtly leave when his back is to you. Leave the door to the room open and sit right outside and wait. So he can't see you, but you'll be able to hear him if he gets into stress. If he does get in stress, walk in there, wait for him to stop. Then I would step in the kennel and I would just sit on the floor, let him go back to eating. Some dogs need your presence there initially. But the idea is we want to gradually wean him off of that. Normally, once dogs really get into it, that will take them about 10 minutes to get all their food. Well, then we can put them in there and then we leave the room and eventually we can start closing the door. So you shouldn't close the door till you've probably done this about 10 or 15 times. But now we close the door, the dog gets all their food, and after everything's done, they're like, oh man, I'm a little bit tired. That was a workout. Where's my human? They might whimper or cry a little bit. Don't ever come in and let them out when they whimper or cry because that's just teaching them that's the way to ask me or page the human. So after a minute or 2, they're like, oh man, I'm just going to take a little nap. And then they lay down and take a nap. Well, I like to have a puppy cam so I can actually watch and not open the door to see if they're asleep. Believe me, if they're not hearing a whimpering, they're probably fine. And that's the benefit of the puppy playpen. They don't have access to anything other than appropriate toys. This will, like I said, help the dog be comfortable being alone. And since she sleeps in the kennel, because that's the only soft place in the kennel, after a while you can actually start closing the kennel door and they're fine. Now, I only kennel a dog if I need to because I'm worried about them having an accident or eating something or destroying something. At 5 months, I was able to let Quest out free, and I haven't had to kennel him since. So it's a nice benefit that you get from it, and it's just something that's just adding a little bit of structure. Let me see what else. I think that's the bulk. Oh, carrots. Make sure that you use carrots. I like to use the shredded carrots at first. Put those in the dog's bowl while it's still eating the bowl before we transition to the toys. Then I get baby carrots and let him chew on the baby carrots and just do it as regular time, whenever they're having fun. Now, if the dog starts licking the post of a chair or something, they lick it as a precursor to chewing it. They were trying to soften it up. So what I would do is if the dog's facing this way, licking the chair, I would go up, get a couple of the baby carrots, and then I would tap the floor over here. So the dog turns its head to look and see, and you drop them on the floor. The dog will turn its orientation away from what they're chewing on and lay down and chew the carrots. And you've redirected them, and usually they get up eating the carrots and they go look for another adventure. The other benefit of getting used to carrots, a couple of them, carrots ward off a type of cancer, number 1. Number 2, when she starts teething, we can start freezing the carrots. And when she's licking something, we go to the freezer, pull a handful out, rinse the hard frost off, do the same principle, turn her around, get her to turn around herself, drop the carrots. Now we've distracted her, and it helps numb her gums, which is going to help those teeth come out and soothe some of her pain. Also, make sure that the human is eating first before you feed her, especially when you go to the interactive toys. I would just get a chip or a banana or a cracker or something, go in there, eat it first, maybe prepare her food first, put it in all the stuff and have it off to the side so it's not in her playpen. Then eat something while she's watching you, then start putting the things down on the ground. Dogs eat in the order of their rank, and just getting a habit of having the dog see you eat something first is a great way to go a long ways towards helping her see you as more of an authority figure. Now, she is a good, confident dog, but because she is so small and does not have a yard to play in, I would really like to see the guardians enroll her in our 201 and our 301 puppy class so she gets more experience. 201 is just building on some basic stuff. 301 will work on the loose leash training, and that's one of the things the guardians want to make sure she does is recall very well. Last thing we'll cover the recall. Make sure you're doing the blowing treat every once in a while, especially when she has other objects. Go through the marrow bone. I have a video specific for that. Make sure you're trying to do that like once every other day. We want to get to the point where we can pet her anywhere when she's eating one of those marrow bones, get her to drops consistently, and be able to take that marrow bone away, as I talked about in the video. When it comes to the recall, every time she comes to us, make sure that we pet her, even if we didn't call her, and say the word come. It would be helpful. I like to wear a shirt with a pocket like this so I can leave some treats in my pocket at all times. So every time the dog comes to me, I reach in, give her the treat, and say the word come as well. Now, training a dog, the hard part about training a dog is getting it to putting it in a position where it does the action you want. Passive training is beautiful because you don't actually try to do that. You just wait for the dog to do it on its own and just simply reward them. You got to have the treats with you, though. You have a window of 3 seconds to correct or reward your dog for them to understand the connection. So if I have to get up, go to the cupboard, open the deal, take a couple out, come back over and give the treat, I've way blown that 3-second window. Just keep a couple with you. Maybe you could put a couple on your mantle, a couple of different places in your house so you have a couple. I've seen people put a little Tupperware thing so it's sealed. But they won't be as good if they're exposed to air. But you can use kibble actually for a puppy for a lot of their treats. But we want to know every time that I come to the humans, something good happens. And one last little thing, I think my third one last little thing, I like to give my dog a naughty dog name. My dog's name is Quest. If he's doing something I don't like, I'll call him Rufus. Make sure it's a word that you can flow off of your tongue. This way, if every time the dog hears its name, it's something positive. And then if it's a negative capacity, use this other name. If you get to the point where Rufus is like, oh man, I'm not coming to them for Rufus, then I throw away Rufus and I call him Obadiah, or whatever the word is that I want to use. Some people use like the politician they hate the most. If you have a kid that beat you up in childhood, maybe you call him Nathan Egger or whatever it is. But the more of this that you do, the more the dog separates those two. And then when I hear my name, it's nothing but peaches and cream. I'm going to come a-running. All right, that is the roadmap to success for Lucy. Remember, everything that you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it.